Filipino tennis ace Alex Eala has officially broken into the WTA top 40 ahead of her opening round match at the Qatar Open in Doha.
Alex Eala just delivered shock waves throughout the tennis universe, and the WTA establishment is absolutely livid right now. Regardless of everything they hurled at her, regardless of the dubious calls, regardless of the disrespect, regardless of being treated like an outsider who doesn't belong, Alex Eala has broken into the top 40 WTA rankings. And with every single tournament, she's ascending higher, demonstrating that talent and determination can overcome even the most corrupt system. This isn't just a feel-good story about a talented athlete succeeding. This is about a young woman from the Philippines battling against an establishment that never wanted her to make it this far. This is about exposing how the WTA treats players who don't fit their preferred mold. This is about Alex Eala refusing to be broken by a system designed to keep her down. Alex Eala's rise has been nothing short of extraordinary. She came from the Philippines, a country not exactly known as a tennis powerhouse, and made an impact on the international stage at an incredibly young age. Now she's working towards her first Grand Slam appearance. And every step of the way, she's had to fight not just her opponents on the court, but the entire WTA machine working against her. When we say the WTA didn't want her to succeed, we're not exaggerating. We're not being dramatic. We have concrete examples of how she's been wronged, how she's been treated differently, how the rules somehow don't apply the same way when Alex Eala is on the court. Let me take you back to one particularly egregious example. During the Australian Open qualifiers, something absolutely shocking happened. Eala was in the middle of a critical rally in the first set. She hit a ball that was clearly in crystal clear. Everyone in the stadium could see it. The mark on the court was visible, the trajectory was perfect. By every objective measure, it was her point. But then came the call out. The referee called it out. Alex obviously challenged it because she knew everyone watching knew that ball was in. But here's where it gets really disturbing. The referee claimed they couldn't make a definitive determination, so you know what they did? They ordered a replay of the point. Let that sink in for a moment. A ball that was clearly in that should have been Ella's point suddenly gets wiped away. The point gets replayed. If you know anything about tennis, you know that's not standard procedure. You don't just get to replay points because you're unsure about a call. Either the ball is in or it's out. You make a decision and you stick with it. But apparently when it comes to Alex Eala, the normal rules don't seem to apply. The psychological impact of something like that is massive. You win a point fair and square and then it gets taken away from you. You have to expend energy fighting for what's rightfully yours. You have to maintain your composure when you're being blatantly cheated. You have to somehow refocus and play that point all over again knowing that the system just robbed you. And you know what? Despite all of that nonsense, despite the questionable calls and the attempts to throw her off her game, Alex Eala won that match. She pushed through. She stayed focused and she made it all the way to the finals of the Australian Open qualifiers. That is the kind of mental toughness and resilience we're talking about here. That's the character of Alex Eala.
Third time.
Ready to play the points.
And here comes the appeal.
But wait, it gets even more troubling. That Australian Open incident wasn't an isolated case. Throughout her career, Eala has faced a pattern of questionable officiating calls that somehow always seem to go against her at critical moments, situations where the rules get interpreted differently when she's involved. The WTA authorities have treated her badly from the beginning. As an outsider, as someone who doesn't come from the traditional tennis pipeline, as a player from a country that the tennis establishment doesn't pay much attention to, Eala has had to fight for every bit of recognition, every bit of respect, every opportunity. While other players get the benefit of the doubt, while other players get favorable scheduling, while other players get the calls going their way, Alex Eala has had to earn everything the hard way. She's had to be twice as good just to be treated half as well. She's had to win convincingly because she knows close matches might not go her way. She's had to develop an incredible mental game because she knows she can't rely on fair officiating. But here's what makes Alex Eala truly special. She hasn't let any of this break her. She hasn't complained endlessly. She hasn't made excuses. She simply kept her head down, kept working, kept improving, and kept winning. She's composed on the court even when she has every right to explode in frustration. She's professional even when the system treats her unprofessionally. And now she's in the top 40. Despite everything working against her, she's climbed into the top 40 WTA rankings. That's not just impressive, that's extraordinary when you consider the obstacles she's faced, the disadvantages she's had to overcome, the corruption she's had to navigate. Breaking into the top 40 is an achievement that deserves way more recognition than it's getting. Think about what she's accomplished. She's competing against players who have access to the best training facilities in the world, players who have had professional coaching since they were tiny kids, players who come from countries with established tennis programs and infrastructure, players who get sponsorship deals and financial backing that she could only dream of. Players who the WTA actually wants to succeed. Alex Eala had none of those advantages. She had to create her own path. She had to work harder than everyone else just to get the same opportunities. And now she's beating players who had every advantage she didn't have. She's rising through the rankings despite the system trying to hold her back. Every tournament she plays, she's moving up. Every match she wins, she's proving the doubters wrong. Every ranking point she earns, she's showing that talent and determination matter more than where you come from or who supports you. She's building something special here, and the tennis world is starting to take notice, whether the WTA likes it or not. But let's be real about what she's up against. The WTA has shown time and time again that they have their favorites, their chosen ones who get promoted and protected. They have a vision of what they want their stars to look like, where they want them to come from, how they want them to act. And Eala doesn't fit that mold. She's too independent, she's too determined to succeed on her own terms, she's too unwilling to play the political games that the tennis establishment expects. She's showing that you don't need their approval, you don't need their blessing, you just need talent, work ethic, and an unbreakable spirit. And here's what really has the WTA establishment worried. Eala is just getting started. She's still young, she's still improving, she's still hungry. Breaking into the top 40 isn't her final destination. It's just a milestone on her journey. She has her sights set on the top 20, then the top 10, and eventually competing for Grand Slam titles. No one can stop her at this point. The momentum is building, the confidence is growing. The ranking is climbing. Every tournament she enters, opponents know they're in for a battle. Every match she plays, she's gaining more experience at the highest level. Every victory she earns, she's proving that she's here to stay. The WTA can continue trying to hold her back with questionable calls and unfair treatment. They can continue treating her like an outsider who doesn't belong. They can continue their corrupt practices and their favoritism towards certain players. But none of it matters anymore, because Eala has already proven she can succeed despite all of it. She's exposed the system by simply refusing to let it defeat her. She's shown the world that the WTA's corruption can't stop someone with enough talent and determination. She's demonstrated that fair treatment isn't necessary when you're good enough to win, even when everything is stacked against you. This is a player who was cheated out of clear points and still won the match. This is a player who faces biased officiating and still advances through tournaments. This is a player who gets treated badly by tennis authorities and still climbs the rankings. That kind of resilience, that kind of mental strength, that kind of pure competitive fire, that's what separates good players from great ones. Eala is becoming great right before our eyes. The top 40 is just the beginning. She's got the game to compete with anyone. She's got the mindset to overcome any obstacle. She's got the drive to achieve things that people said were impossible for someone from her background. The Philippines has found their tennis superstar. The sport has gained an incredible talent who's going to force the establishment to respect her whether they want to or not. And tennis fans around the world have a new player to root for. Someone who represents everything good about sports. Someone who shows that integrity and hard work can overcome corruption and favoritism. Eala is running wild through the WTA rankings, and there's nothing anyone can do to stop her. She's breaking barriers, she's shattering expectations, and she's doing it all with class and composure that makes her critics look even worse. This is just the beginning of her story. And if this is what she can accomplish while fighting against the system, imagine what she'll do when she finally gets the respect and fair treatment she deserves.